Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about severe weather that will be happening in the next few days in today's video. So that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. There's possibly large hail, damaging wind, tornadoes possible in the next few days, a 5% chance, a big one for tomorrow. So we're going to cover all that in today's video. So let's get into today's video here. Okay, here we are looking at the day one categorical outlook here on Toronto counties. And we see there's a marginal risk of severe weather for Louisiana and Mississippi here. We see a marginal risk of severe weather, level 1 out of 5 on the scale, as you can see here, for tomorrow. We also have, or not tomorrow, today, sorry. General thunderstorms go all the way up, all the way into Pennsylvania, where you could be seeing some general thunderstorms today. So you may see some thunderstorms, maybe one severe one potentially in those areas, but most severe weather should be down in this area today, though. Louisiana and Mississippi should see most severe weather here. So let's look at the tornado risk. There is a 2% chance of tornadoes today for Louisiana and Mississippi here. Just a very low threat. But there is a threat of severe weather today. The wind threat, a 5% chance for Louisiana and Mississippi. And then same with the hail threat, a 5% chance for hail for this area. So that's what we're going to be seeing the next few days. Here we are going to look at the day 2 here. We see there is a big slight risk of severe weather here for this area, and a very large marginal risk going all the way into Oklahoma. They put it all the way in Oklahoma because they think there will be a cell that will start off in Oklahoma, move up into Tennessee as that warm front moves through, and then later on we'd see supercells potentially for Mississippi and Alabama, bringing maybe a few tornadoes in there. So that's why they did that. So the very large slight risk, I wouldn't be surprised if they upgraded this to an enhanced risk here somewhere in this area, especially right in here probably. Enhanced risk of a 10% chance probably in their next outlook. So yeah. We also have general thunderstorms going all the way up here, and we also have another general thunderstorms near California here. We're going to be very concerned about this tomorrow because we could see a few tornadoes potentially. We have a bigger threat tomorrow than today. So, yeah. Some of the areas in the marginal risk: New Orleans, Atlanta, Baton Rouge, Montgomery, Shreveport, Louisiana. Some people in the slight risk: Memphis, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Birmingham, Alabama, Jackson, Mississippi, and Huntsville, Alabama, in that slight risk here for our day 2. Let's look at the tornado risk here. We have a 2% chance of tornadoes and a 5% chance, a very large 5% chance of tornadoes. That's why I think there may be some sort of 10% in here probably tomorrow, most likely. So, yeah, we'll have to watch that very, very closely. The wind threat is a 15% chance, as you can see. Even goes all the way back to Oklahoma, that 5% chance. We have 15% chance right in here of damaging wind. The hail threat, still a 15% chance. It does not extend all the way to Nashville, it doesn't look like, but still a 15% chance for some of these areas here in those areas in the slight risk still, so still be concerned for some hail tomorrow. So, yeah, we're going to have to watch all threats tomorrow are possible. Large hail, damaging wind, and tornadoes potentially are possible tomorrow. So, yeah, that won't be probably the only biggest threat, though. We could also have some flooding also here in some of these areas. With those storms, we may see continuous rain sometimes. We'll probably see a break in some of these areas, but especially Tennessee probably in these areas here. As the warm front comes through, you might see some rain and some flooding potentially for those areas. So, might want to watch out for that if you're in those areas. Okay, now we're going to move on to day 3 outlook, and we see there is a marginal risk of severe weather for Louisiana all the way to South Carolina, back down to Florida. We see a very large marginal risk, not as big as day 2, but still a big marginal risk here for these areas. Um, so on our probabilistic, it's a 5% chance. Marginal risk is a 5% chance on the probabilistic. So as you can see here, so yeah. Usually they only go to day 3 doing the marginal through high risk scale, and usually this is where I would go to the models. But they did issue day 4 and day 5 a rare 15% chance. This is here, so I'm going to show you that right now. So here's day 4's outlook. We have a 15% chance, and you see that only 4 through 8, the days 4 through 8 on the Severe Weather Outlook, they do not issue marginal through high. They only issue 15% chance or a 30% chance of severe weather here. So yeah, and it's very rare to get 30% chance of severe weather. It's very rare. It's been a while since we had one of those, so, and probably won't have one of those, but it's still possible we could get that here. That would equal enhanced risk. 15% chance equals a slight risk. So, and the people in this day 4, 50% chance is Memphis, Tennessee, Little Rock, Jackson, North Little Rock, Jonesboro, Arkansas. So some of those areas seeing a 15% chance of severe weather for day 4. So we'll have to watch that here very closely for these areas from Texas all the way up to Tennessee, it looks like. Maybe getting close to Kentucky. So we're going to have to watch that very closely. And then we have a very large day 5. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if they did actually issue a 30% chance somewhere in here how big this is. The very big 15% chance of severe weather that equals slight risk. And this includes Memphis, Tennessee again, Nashville, Tennessee, Atlanta, Georgia, Birmingham, Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama. So seems like most of the same areas in day 2 risk is going to be the same risk for day 5, or even bigger of risk on day 5 of severe weather. So we're going to watch that very, very closely. Day 6, no severe weather. Day 7, no severe weather. And day 8 right now, no severe weather, so the probability is too low. But day 4 and 5 have a risk of severe weather. Okay, so let's get to the models here. As you can see, we see this is around 2 p.m. today. So about the time me recording this video, actually it's a little earlier actually. We are looking here, and we see there is some thunderstorms in Louisiana and Mississippi around this time. Maybe some rain for up here. Nothing too big though going on at this time. Let's fast forward a little more to about the time this video will probably be released. And we'll continue to see thunderstorms for Louisiana and Mississippi. It looks like for those areas, it looks like we're going to be seeing some thunderstorms with some small hail potentially, maybe a little bit of winds, and a tornado cannot be ruled out with some of these storms here. So just watch out if you're in those areas. We also have some rain and storms for Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio. Some rain and maybe thunderstorms, but really nothing too severe up there though. Probably nothing actually really severe for those areas. It's mainly going to be for Louisiana and Mississippi. Let's keep fast forward here to 6 o'clock. Looks like these storms are going to become a little stronger as we go into 6 p.m. Still gusty winds, small hail, chance of a tornado or two for these areas. So yeah, we're going to have to watch that very, very closely as that continues. We see some rain and thunderstorms potentially for Tennessee, Kentucky still, some into Mississippi, Alabama, some rain showers, thunderstorms potentially. So yeah, we're going to continue to move on to 8 p.m. We still see some thunderstorms for Louisiana, especially near New Orleans. It looks like we'll see some thunderstorms here. So yeah, as that continues, still some rain showers for up here. So yeah, we'll keep fast forward here to about 10 p.m. We still see thunderstorms for, it looks like it's starting to move into Mississippi. So, portions of Mississippi, maybe no, Mobile might want to be on alert for maybe a few thunderstorms around 10 p.m. Probably nothing too severe, but still possibility of maybe some gusty winds, small hail, and a tornado cannot be ruled out. And then still rain showers for up here. Let's fast forward, and it looks like they kind of fizzle out. And it doesn't look like it'll really hit Mobile Alabama, so that's some good news here. Looks like around 6 a.m. at night, we'll potentially see some thunderstorms pop up toward Texas and Louisiana. Around this time, it probably wouldn't be too severe because during the nighttime, but it's possible. It could be strong to severe. See some thunderstorms to 11 a.m. tomorrow. Some thunderstorms near Mississippi, Alabama. We'll have to watch those. I think those will stay below severe limits by this time. So, yeah, we'll have to watch more later in the day. Probably about this time is when we'll have to start worrying about 4 p.m. So, probably 12 to 4 p.m. is where we would have to start watching for some stronger thunderstorms for maybe parts of Mississippi, Alabama. It looks like Tennessee, where that warm front will be. We'll have to watch for some strong thunderstorms here. And then we're going to start watching after those thunderstorms. We're going to have to watch this area very closely. So if we see storms in this area, we could see some supercells and stuff develop for these areas, causing a damaging wind, hail, and tornadoes potentially in that area. So let's keep fast forward here, see what the models show here. At least in the M3K, we still see some thunderstorms. Looks like we'd start seeing a little bit of thunderstorms develop. According to the M3K, it doesn't look like much is going on here. Around 8 p.m. Looks like we might see some storms try to fire up near 12 a.m. It doesn't look like anything too severe quite at the moment. But we still see thunderstorms for a portion of Tennessee, North Carolina. Still, as we move forward, we see actually some thunderstorms develop near 5 a.m. It looks like. So we'll have to watch some of those. It's about 5 a.m. in the morning, so it might not be as bad, but still a possibility we could see strong thunderstorms. And it looks like as we move into the next day around 12 p.m., it looks like we'd still have some leftover thunderstorms for Georgia, some of those areas here, so we'll have to watch that. And then as we move into about 6 p.m. the next day, it looks like we have some strong thunderstorms all the way from Alabama to North Carolina. So we'll have to watch that very, very closely tomorrow. So let's rewind back into about 11 a.m. and let's look at the CAPE here, or convective available potential energy. So around 11 a.m. tomorrow, we'll have some CAPE where those thunderstorms are in Texas and Louisiana. We'll have probably about 1,000 joules per kilogram. CAPE is basically food for thunderstorms here, and we see there's some for those regions. We're starting to see some CAPE. It looks like move it to Mississippi, Alabama. So yeah, let's keep fast forward here. So that CAPE keeps rising for Mississippi, Alabama as that complex of storms moves through into Tennessee. So I'll have to watch me for some severe weather because we do have about 1,000 joules per kilogram, and that's enough for severe thunderstorms. We're going to keep fast forward. Once it gets into Tennessee around 6 p.m., looks like we don't have much instability here for those thunderstorms, but we'll still have to watch them very closely. But we see most of the convective energy is right down in this region here, and not really toward those regions. We could still see some severe weather out of that. There is just a tiny bit of instability, but not much for those areas. Most of it's south there. So that's why we'd be concerned if anything develops south of that area. We'd have to watch for strong thunderstorms because there's about 1,000 to near 2,000 joules per kilogram here for those areas. Keep fast forward, that CAPE finally starts moving into portions of Tennessee, it looks like. We see lots of convective energy for Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. So whenever these storms are possible to be in this area tomorrow. So we're going to have to really watch that. And we keep fasting forward. We still see some around 8 a.m. We still see some convective energy. Not as much because it's around 8 a.m. in the morning. And then hanging into the next day, we start seeing some more instability try to build up for these areas. So very interesting. So let's go back here. Let's look at the dew points now here, or our moisture for severe thunderstorms. So we see there's about, for most of this area, we see about 60 to 70 degree dew points here for most of these areas. So yeah, let's fast forward here to later in the day where this complex of storms was probably around Mississippi, and you can kind of see that on here, where the thunderstorms are taking up some of the moisture there. Um, so there's quite a bit of moisture, as you can see. Tennessee, we have about 60, so enough for severe weather. Down here, we have well more than enough for severe weather, 60s, maybe getting close to 70s. Looks very close it will be. Still seeing 60 to 70s around 6 p.m. almost. Up here we have about 60s, so we could see some severe weather up there. It's just the instability. That will stop maybe a little bit of severe weather up there, but still a chance of some. But most of the severe weather, if anything happens, what to watch for is right in this area there. Because that's the most favorable area, the instability and moisture so far. And then we keep passing forward. 10 p.m. we still see moisture for most of that area. Didn't continue to see it. And then heading into the next day, looks like we have well more than enough moisture here for most of these areas for more thunderstorms. I wouldn't be surprised if day 2 got upgraded to a slight risk potentially. So we have enough moisture and instability here for that. So yeah, we'll have to watch that very, very closely here. Now let's look at the GFS and let's look a little more farther out on the models here. So yeah, here we are looking. We're gonna go back to the U.S. We are looking at the overall U.S. where we see that these storms move through. These storms, they're gonna move out, and then we're gonna see another storm system come through from this part of the U.S. Move over here into these regions to cause our next severe weather threat. So let's move on into New Year's here. So we fast forward into New Year's, and around 12 p.m. you see there's rain and thunderstorms here on Saturday, January 1st. We see some strong thunderstorms potentially for areas of Arkansas. Looks like Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky. Those areas seeing some strong thunderstorms at things here. It looks like, and then behind that we have snow here for the Midwest potentially, from Texas all the way to Illinois. Some heavy snow potentially here, with these strong storms here. So yeah, let's keep fasting forward here into the next day. We still possibly are seeing some thunderstorms into January 2nd for Georgia, Alabama, um, maybe even North and South Carolina. Some snow for the Northeast, it looks like. So, strong system potentially coming through um, here. And then maybe some severe weather to January 3rd, maybe just off the coast of Florida there. And then it'll move out. And then it looks like it'll get warmer here. And then it looks like some more storms will develop later on here on the GFS, according to what it shows, and potentially even more storms, but still this is a little far out, so this could change. But we'll have to watch this very closely if this does happen here. So yeah, thank you guys for watching today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed here. Trying to upload on the severe weather potential. I'll try to upload the next few days. I'll try my best. But stay safe if you're in those areas where you could see some severe weather. I'll try to update you in the next few days. If I need to, I'll maybe do a live stream the next few days. If it gets too bad, I'll try to do a live stream. I'm not going to guarantee anything, but if I'm not busy, then I'll try to do a live stream for you guys so you guys can watch. So yeah,